The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you. Our G20 summit has kicked off in South Africa without the United States of America because they claim that Cyril Ramaphosa invited a lot of people, especially African leaders, and for that matter, they don't want to be part of it. And people have started pledging Africa is always at the receiving end with all the resources that we have. European leaders announced 13 billion euros in clean energy financing for Africa, plus another 2.1 billion euros from private players. The Netherlands and the FMO Development pledged another 250 million euros with 100 million in private capital. Africa will always receive, and at the end of the day, we don't know whether this money is always being promised in ways or the money is given out to our leaders without us knowing what these leaders are using the money for. And why should we always be at the receiving end when we have all the resources? And if this money they are giving to the African is actually for free, because with all these promises that they always give to us, we have African countries that are still living in darkness, no electricity, we do not have a lot of basic things that we need. So where do this money always go? That's the question we have been asking. And now we are not interested in where the money goes. We are interested in if the money is actually for free, because we know that Europe is struggling with their economies. Things are not easy with them. So how can people that are suffering from economic crisis come into Africa to be donating to Africa when we see their people also crying of hardship? We have unemployment all over, and we are still having their people also crying of unemployment. But these people always give to Africa, and our leaders are always excited when this money is given to them.
And as you said, Cyril, 600 million people still live without access to electricity. This must change. We need to invest in energy urgently so that children can do their homework after dark. Families can keep food fresh and medicines cold. Communities can feel safe after nightfall. And this cannot wait any longer. Second, it is also a matter of sustainability. Around the world, the clean transition is in full swing. And we must ensure that all continents seize the benefits. Let me give you some figures. Last year, $2 trillion were invested in clean energy, but only 2% went to Africa. While, as you said, Cyril, there are huge opportunities in Africa for sun, wind, geothermal, hydropower, for new low-emissions fuels, and also for investments in grids, in storage, and other infrastructure that tie the energy system together. And this means safer jobs, sustainable businesses, and a healthier planet. This could become the growth story of the 21st century. And Africa can write it. This is why we're here tonight. And my friends, my third point, this is also a matter of economic opportunity. Africa is a young, dynamic continent with vibrant communities and fast-growing markets. It has natural resources in abundance. This creates enormous investment opportunities in clean energy, which in turn will power economic growth. Because it means Africa's entrepreneurs can get online, it means skilled jobs and stronger industries, and it means more opportunities for Africa's young people. For all these reasons, investing in Africa's energy future is the right choice and the smart choice. And Europe has already made its choice and major investments in clean energy for Africa through our Global Gateway investment strategy. Modern power grids, transmission lines to rural areas, batteries to store renewable once the sun goes down, and we are creating new opportunities for the private sector to get involved, because no one can do this alone. So governments, banks, private investors, philanthropists, all need to work together to make every euro go further, to make projects move faster, and to make the transition fairer. And that's why 1 year ago, we together launched this campaign, Dear Cyril, the issue, and it is working. Since then, Team Europe has already pledged 3.1 billion euros to support electrification, to modernize power grids, and to expand access to renewable energy across Africa. Because access to clean energy access to clean energy means more power. It means possibility. It means prosperity. And it means progress. So, in a moment, I will announce Europe's new pledge. But first, the stage belongs to others. Thank you, and I hand over to you, Hugh.
Thank you, Madam President von der Leyen. Thank you, President Ramaphosa, for welcoming us back to South Africa. Ngiyatanda South Africa. Ngiyabonga kakhulu. Siyaphela lapha isiZulu sami. Africa's renewable energy future is one of the greatest opportunities of our generation. This continent, as President Ramaphosa and President von der Leyen mentioned, has the solar, wind and hydro resources to power entire regions, and a young, dynamic generation of people ready to drive the next frontier of clean energy. That is why global citizens across Africa and around the world have spent the past year taking action to call on world leaders to invest in scaling up renewable energy across the continent. Actions that will show us all today the progress we can make when we work together. This means governments providing investment capital to be used to de-risk projects and hedge currencies, investors bringing capital and scale, and entrepreneurs willing to make the establishment of renewable energy businesses their life's passion, and millions of global citizens around the world pressing for faster action.
Secure, affordable and clean energy is the key to progress and to a good life all over the world, the key to economic growth, prosperity.
Africa needs access to power, and together we can provide it. Sweden is answering your call. Clean power drives growth and job creation. It will help to make Africa stronger and more resilient, and it will help us all to keep the planet healthier.
Since its launch last November, we have invested nearly 200 million euro and mobilized another 100 million euro in projects that bring affordable and clean energy to communities across the continent.
That the European Investment Bank is pledging more than 2 billion euros to scale up renewable energy across Africa over the next 2 years.
Também em Portugal, essa é uma prioridade. E também na nossa cooperação com vários países africanos. Temos vindo a apoiar, nomeadamente, projetos de reconversão de dívida em investimento de transição energética. Temos vindo a apoiar a construção de barragens.
This is a country with history that hasn't colonized us. And we've seen that when Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso took office, they have been there to protect our oil and us. And they're giving us the training that we need to be able to change the resources into finished goods. We don't have the know-how as to what to do with our resources, and that is why other people come into the continent and take advantage of the resources, and they make sure that they give us the education that will then equip us with the skills that we can use to transform these resources into something beneficial, because they always want to have a ready market where Africa, we will export these resources in the raw form so that they will turn it into finished goods and sell it to us. Ours is just to receive and not to put our heads to work. It's like them telling us that we can just sit there and relax. We shouldn't stress ourselves, waste our time of thinking. They will do the thinking, then they'll bring everything to us. We should just sit there and relax. And this is not helping Africa, because we need to also have the know-how as to what to use our resources for. Look at these people coming into the continent to carry the resources, turn them into things that even we need, and when we are even buying them, they tell us the things that they think that we need and not what we need. So if we have the knowledge, all these things wouldn't be happening. But Russia isn't a nation that is controlling Africa in this regard, and we are expecting that all our leaders will move to the direction that these people will be there to help us and see us as equal partners and not as inferior beings, because this is how we have always been in the sight of these people. That was why France even came out to tell Niger that they don't have the right to sell the uranium to Russia, because if they should do, it will empower Russia and they will lose their power in the Sahel, and not what will interest or benefit the African. Always whatever these people do is their interest, what they are going to benefit out of it, and not what will benefit the African. So Africa, we know where our problems lie. We know why we are not moving forward as a continent and as a people. If we want to see a different dimension in Africa, we need to move away from the old ways of doing things into another form, because with this partnership with these people, it doesn't even allow us to trade more among ourselves. We are always trading more with these people, and which is not helping Africa. Look at the borders that these people have imposed on us, making sure that the African is not able to move freely. They are always doing things that will divide us and not what will keep us united. But Russia hasn't been that way towards us ever since we came in contact with these people. So we need to move away from these people and form new alliance. And anytime that Africa we are trying to form new alliance, we see them coming to tell us that these people are bad, always trying to present themselves to be the good people before us. But we know that these people have never had our interests at heart. Anytime they talked about taking care of the African, it means that they are benefiting from it. But these people will never come in to help us stand on our own. They are the ones that are always coming into the continent to take out the brilliant ones and to change them into whatever to suit themselves. So Africa, we need to rise to move away from the people that are not making us to rise by ourselves. Russia is the one that is teaching us how to stand on our own. Look at the way they are trading the Malians, the Burkinabes, and the Nigerians, in order to get the knowledge that they can use to transform a lot of things. Like Captain Ibrahim Traore visited Russia and told the President Putin that we need technology. We need to equip ourselves in things like this, and to have better educational system that can train us, to equip us with the knowledge that we need to be able to do things on our own. And this is what we need. Our leaders in the democratic elected always sit down for people to come and be donating. This is not what we need, because we have the resources that we need to take care of ourselves. Look at even the resources that we have in Congo alone can take care of Africa and even add these people. So why are we still the ones that are presenting ourselves as poor people? Because this is how they want us, so they can have access to the natural resources all the time. If we have people that are ready to work with us and see us as equal partners, then it is high time we move away from the people that are setting us backwards to these people, so we can have power to control what is on our soil. We don't control anything in Africa here. Other people decide what we should do. That is why anytime they ask us to do something and we refuse, we see sanctions on us, because they always want the African to be where they want Africa to be. And this is not the time for us to continue to allow ourselves in that manner. We have every right as a people to do things that we think is best for us and not what is best for other people. And we don't have to continue to allow other people to be doing what they are doing to us. And if the president of Togo, Nyasungbe Yadama, has seen the way, we expect that when he goes there and he's finally back to Togo, he will do the needful and stop being a dictator to his people, because the people in Togo are sick and tired of all the things that they are going through. We need leaders. If you are praising Putin for doing all these amazing things for the people in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, we expect you to also learn the leadership style and how these people are living with their citizens. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make African great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, in Africa, West Africa, and in Togo.